Chief Executive from League One team, Cambridge United. I came across Alex's LinkedIn post just about mental health and football. And as you know, these are things that mean a hell of a lot to me. This is episode 12. Listen, if you haven't come on already, please give us a like. And if you think that this might help anybody, by all means, just pass the podcast. It's important that we get people talking. First from me, Alex, congratulations on retaining your place in League One. After I was speaking to you, I was keeping an eye on the results and praying and hoping that you would stay in League One. I know you got 2 wins in the last couple of games, so massive congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was a challenging season. Look, we started really well. We then had a lot of injuries, small squad, and as it is in this division, it's tough anyway, let alone when you lose 6 or 7 of your first team players. So we were really pleased to go into the last week with a chance, and we took it. So really pleased to got for a second season in League One, and that we go forwards now.
Excellent. And listen, I have been doing a bit of digging in the background just to see how the fans are feeling and see how things are looking going into next season, and it is pretty optimistic, which is good. When does the League One season kick off?
So we start in a month's time, so 5th of August we start, home to Oxford. Got a bit of a rebuilding job going on at the minute with the squad. Just in terms of that cycle, those players that got the team up from League 2 into League 1, contracts are coming to an end. A few of them are going on to bigger and better things, which is great to see. There's a bit of a rebuilding job taking place. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, that squad will get assembled and we'll be in a competitive position.
Excellent. Good man. Listen, just to tell some of my listeners about this, as I said, I do a lot of research on LinkedIn. I do look for people that have similar objectives to myself and similar goals. Basically, I was drawn to a post that Alex had put on. It was just saying that Cambridge United are essentially the first mental health advocates in Britain. You've got your own app for your supporters. Could you tell us a wee bit about that, please?
Yeah, so we partnered with Mynurva, which is a mental health based app that allows anybody to access mental health support from qualified practitioners. So what we've done is we've actually been using it within the club with our staff since the turn of the year. So we've got just over 60 full-time staff. They've all had access to the app. We know some of them have been using it. It's on a confidential basis, so we don't actually see subject matters or the number of sessions they have. All we know is there has been interaction on the app through Mynurva. And then what we decided to do with them was to offer this to all of our season ticket holders over the age of 18. So from this season, if a supporter buys a season ticket, not only will they receive access to the game and all the other benefits, but they'll receive free mental health support throughout the course of the season via the app. All they do, go on, ask for some support, and a call will get arranged with them. It's a video call, can be taken with the video on or off. And the great thing about it is it can be taken anywhere. So it can be taken at your place of work, go and sit in your car and have a conversation. It could be taken out and about. It could be taken in the comfort of your own home. But what we're really trying to do is provide accessible to support to our season ticket holders. We know that potentially 1 in 4 people suffer from mental health, which could in our case be somewhere between 750 and 1,000 people.
That's fantastic. I was reading that. I looked at it and I said between 750 and 1,000 people. And it made me think, I'm a Rangers season ticket holder myself, and I'm thinking to myself, if that's Rangers, that's 10,000, that's 15,000 people. It's crazy when you put that into such figures. And as you say, 1 in 4 people have experienced mental health issues, and 1 in 5 people think about suicide. The numbers really are staggering. Why did you, as a club, make that decision? Why did you think this was something that you wanted Cambridge United to go on with?
So the club for about the last 3 or 4 years has always worked quite strongly in this area. So through our foundation, done a lot of work, different programmes. We actually had Prince William here to film a show for the BBC about mental health, and he's been quite a big advocate of the work we've been doing. So it's something that was close to our hearts anyway, and I think it's just part of the culture here at Cambridge. Cambridge is very much a caring club, whether that's caring about the players, staff, volunteers. And I think we just felt that we had this opportunity to help people. It was something that we could easily do, and football's a great vehicle to engage people into all kinds of different subject matters. And once we saw it, we thought this is something we should try and do and try and make a difference.
Excellent. The Prince William, I know you had mentioned that. I know he's the Duke of Cambridge. Was there something that William was involved with, or was it just through the conversations and just trying to push this out?
Yeah, he's obviously a very keen advocate of mental health, and he was filming a specific program on it. And by virtue of some of the work that was taking place at the club at the time, he came down, and they just chose to film part of it here. But I think for us, it's, you know, that's probably going back 3 or 4 years ago now, and today we've got the opportunity to integrate technology into the way that we provide support for people.
Excellent. It's I know, is it Mind Your Head that?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm trying to read up as much as I can about these things. I know down south with the English FA are doing a lot of good work, and it's something that I'm trying to work with the Scottish FA up here, to see if there's other things that we can be rolling out, to see if there's things that we can use. And listen, things like what you're doing, Alex, and your club's doing, these are things that are helping us. That's the catalyst to go to these clubs and say, listen, Cambridge are doing it. Is there anything that we can do by getting you guys in? Prince William as well, that's something that's amazing, and it's keeping it right to the front of everybody's mind.
We're not, one thing I would say is we're not specialists in the fields, but what we are very good at is engaging with a community, integrating them, bringing them together in one place. And if we can do that through engaging with them and integrating them into minor communities within themselves, it allows people the opportunity to talk. And quite often it's the talking part that helps these things get tackled.
Excellent. Listen, I was reading the Telegraph, the article with your groundsman. He was saying that he had a fall at work. Could you maybe tell us a wee bit about that, please?
Yeah, so this is Ian Darla. He's been here for 44 years, sort of stadium manager, sort of head groundsman. He had a fall at work going back a few years ago now, and as a result of that, he suffered PTSD. Took him several years to really tackle that, and then since then he's been using his experience to help others. So Ian's a fantastic guy, and quite often you will find supporters and volunteers and staff just coming forward to him and just seeking a conversation or seeking advice. We're trying to create an environment here where people talk. You want people to engage, you want them to be open, and Ian's a great advocate of that. We have a wellbeing group here at the club, which is made up of one individual from each department that meets every quarter. And they're really tasked with creating an environment where people feel supported, people can talk. We've also got a system here called GoVox, which is a monthly wellbeing survey that goes out to all of our staff. And it just allows them to feed back to us how they're feeling, how their home life is, how their work life is, and that gets managed and looked after. And then we also provide that to our academy players. So it's really important that we understand how they're feeling and whether we can help assist them in their lives, not just on the pitch, but off it as well. So all of our players aged 8 all the way through to 18 will fill in a monthly survey as well, so that we can get a picture. And quite often we won't find anything, but over a period of time, we might see different trends or things that may concern us, and we can help provide some support if it's required.
That's fantastic. Absolutely brilliant work. It's funny because I did say to you, I'm in the construction industry, and we lose a hell of a lot of men and women every year to suicide, and poor mental health is rife in the construction industry. I think it's that hyper masculinity kind of way that through football and construction that it's just bred into us not to talk. Being a man from Glasgow as well, it's still not the norm. Thankfully, it's getting better. I'm not saying that it's great, or it certainly could be better. But as I say, the things that you guys are doing down there, it's fantastic, and it's so refreshing to see a club that are just going, not just being an average club. You guys are going and taking that extra step, Alex, and yet, listen, for a guy like myself, it's heartwarming to see. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think there was a quote from Ian that I was reading in the Telegraph, and he said, "I foolishly thought I knew everything about mental health. I thought depression was just a bad day, but now I know that everybody can be affected." And that was the sentence in that full paragraph that stood out to me, because I think most people I know suffer from poor mental health, and I have my good days and my bad days as well. And to see that, it brings it home. Ian's not saying that he knows everything about mental health, but taking a hit when he's been at work and it's affected him in that way. And as you said, a lot of people seek Ian out to have that conversation. That's the kind of person I like to be when I'm out on building sites, is to be, well, there's Craig, I'll go and get a chat and see if, and as you say, if everything's okay, great. We want to keep it that high standard. But if there are people that are struggling, then the door's open. And for you guys down at Cambridge to be having that level of openness and that open door policy, it's so refreshing in this day and age. And again, just sorry, it sounds as if I'm buttering you up, but it really is. It's so heartwarming to see in this day and age that Cambridge as a club and as a community are taking this and just making it such an amazing thing. And I just doff my cap to you, to be honest.
Yeah, and the Mynurva thing is it's a new initiative, so we're just on the process of onboarding everybody now. It will be interesting to see in a year's time, how it's gone, whether the supporters find that service useful. It's all confidential, so to a certain degree, we won't know the full impact it's had, but certainly Mynurva will be able to sort of tell us if it's been a worthwhile exercise for everybody. But even if it helps one person, then it was worth the time it took for us to get this up and running.
Definitely. And as you say, it could easily be up to 1,000 people within your fan base that are getting that help. That, again, that the masculinity thing comes into it, that when I was suffering myself personally and I went to the doctors, it was the case of, there's some antidepressants, I'll see you in 6 weeks. I think that people may be too scared. I was certainly too scared to go back to the GP after that kind of treatment, whereas you're given that opportunity to 750, 1,000 of your fans, and it's just amazing. It really is. It's brilliant. I was reading about the Forever United programme as well. That's another great initiative as well. Could you tell me a wee bit about that, Alex, please?
Yeah, so again, it's run through the foundation. It's really the work that we do with the seniors. It stemmed out the back of COVID, really, when the club was offering support. But we took a business decision last year. Cambridge is quite unique in that it's a city with 31 colleges from the university. And all of those colleges have got fantastic conferencing facilities, some of the best in the world. So for us to use our very small hospitality facilities for non-match day events, which a lot of clubs do, we just felt the business model didn't stack up. Whilst we've got some parking, we're out of town, but actually people were being lured into these fantastic colleges with hundreds of years of history and great facilities. So we said, right, we'll stop that part of the business. It's not making us any money. We'll focus on other areas. But what we will do is we will give that space to our foundation and allow them to utilise that for the benefit of the community. So we do a seniors lunch every month where over 100 seniors from the local community come in. They pay £2. They get 2-course meal. We do all kinds of stuff, quizzes, bingo. First team players and manager have been known to host the bingo several times. And then we also run a dementia cafe as well, working with those who are suffering dementia, bringing back some memories and working through a whole host of activities. So the ethos is to open those doors and let the community come and use our facilities.
That's brilliant. And I was talking to Trevor Stephen. I know Trevor does a lot of work with mental health, and I know he's got a hub that's based just outside of Goodison. And I was talking to Trevor just about seeing if we could get something up here at the likes of Ibrox. If it was just one club that was doing all these, maybe one or two things, I would be saying that it's well over and above. But for you guys to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, like 10 different things, it's absolutely amazing. And it just, honestly, I think you've got a new fan. I'm looking out a new. I
Thank you.
need to find myself a Cambridge United top.
Well, they go on sale on Friday. That's when the kits launch.
So that is that. Just that. That's just a wee drop in there that the kits are on. Kits are on sale on Friday.
On Friday, but that's not what this is for.
No,
this is a long-term strategy for us. This is about, we've got a fantastic owner or set of owners. Our majority owner is from Cambridge. He whilst he lives abroad, he is about us ensuring that everyone here is a custodian. Everybody leaves the club in a better place than when they found it for future generations to enjoy. And we're all about, one of the big things is about creating memorable moments, whether that's on the pitch or off the pitch. So everything we're doing, we're looking at with a lens. So yes, Saturday 3 o'clock there's a game of football, and we hope we win that every week, and that creates memorable moments. But there are lots of other memorable moments that can be made in and around a match day, whether that's someone's first game. Maybe that is just two people standing on the terrace, just talking to each other, saying, look, how are you? I mean, there's lots of people that stand on the terrace and they don't actually know the names of the people that stand around them, but they've stood around them for the last 20, 30 years. And it might be that through the environment that we're trying to create and the openness we're trying to create, that one person might say to the other, how are you doing? And they might just go, do you know what? Not too well today. And that might stimulate a conversation, which they feel they can have in a safe environment. Or perhaps somebody says, look, have you got a season ticket? Why don't you download the app, and why don't you get some support? So this is far more than just a simple initiative. This is about a culture and a way of doing things and a way of operating.
Yeah, as I say, it's that with the senior citizens, having them in and having bingo days and all the, I've seen walking football as well, all these different things for the community. If that was 6 or 7 or 8 clubs doing these things, I would be giving each of them a big, massive pat on the back. But for one club to be doing something like that it's absolutely sensational. And I do sound as if I'm parching you a wee bit, but you do deserve every bit of success. And as I said, you do have a new fan in myself. It's all the stuff that you guys are doing. It just, as a football fan, makes you proud to see things like that. I know from past experience, it's up here especially, the bigger the club, it's a case of get in, buy yourself a pie or a bovril, watch the football and go home. That seems like the way that it has been from my youth up until 40 just now, unfortunately. But I think that's slowly but surely starting to change. I think the match day experience is certainly being focused on a lot more. I do go down south to watch a bit of football as well, and you see it at teams like Man City, yourselves. There's a lot more for families to do. It's hard for me as a dad to say to my kids, we're going to Ibrox. It's raining outside, it's windy. Come on, we'll go and watch the football. It's hard to get kids out of their rooms when they could be sitting playing the Xbox. That's why stuff like what you're doing is just so, it means that much, especially to a community as a club as well. And the more clubs that do things like this in future, Alex, the better. I did see one thing that I just want to bring to your attention. I was looking at as I say, your fanzines. I was just having a read just to see. I'm not the most learned on what goes on at Cambridge. I did see that your director, Godric Smith's a big ambassador for mental health, but something else that did stand out to me was one of your fans, Matt H, on The Athletic. So there was a piece that you guys had wrote on The Athletic, and he said, I've been on the terraces since I was 6 years old. and I've never been prouder of the club than I am now. Right now, the U's are getting it right. Our history, the histrionics, and the current sheer graft of all involved, it's just a different beast. As a fan, it's a wonder to behold. And for me to tell you something like that, it must make you guys so, so proud of what you're trying to achieve and that ethos that runs through your club just now. Because as an outsider looking in, that's amazing work, absolutely sensational, and you must be so proud.
Yeah, I think it's always really nice to hear those kind of things, and I think that's probably a sign of that's top to bottom really. That comes from the owner all the way through the board. Some fantastic people on the board and very diverse in terms of their skill sets and their backgrounds, all the way through to the people that work here day to day and the volunteers and then the supporters. So we're at the start of something. We're probably only sort of a couple of years, two and a bit years into the project. We bought the Abbey Stadium back last September after 20 years. So that was a really important point. We're just building a new training ground, but we're trying to do things in a sustainable fashion, but also in the right way. And there's a lot to do, and it won't happen overnight, but hopefully, week by week, month by month, the supporters can see the club is trying to take strides forward in a sustainable manner, trying to do things the right way. It is a business still at the end of the day, which can be difficult, but as I say, it goes back to that piece about everyone's a custodian, and we all need to make sure we leave it in a better shape for future generations to enjoy, and hopefully working together as a collective we can continue on the upward trajectory that we're on.
Definitely. And listen, I see it constantly with the upper management that they think they're doing great things, and they like a lot of backslapping and celebrating amongst themselves, winning awards as individuals, patting each other on the back, whereas right down from your owner all the way down, it does just seem like you've got such a good thing that you're working on there. And as you say, you're 2 or 3 years into this cycle, and just seeing how that gets better and better. You're the only club that I know that does absolutely amazing work, and it's filtering down because you are seeing these things in the fanzines. As I say, just a boy from Scotland, a Rangers man that's went digging into your social pages and seeing things like that. I'm glad that I could be the guy that relays these stuff to you, because you can tell your chairman that these things are going on and guys are starting to notice it, because that can only do a club like yourselves that the world a good. Do you know? And you should be really, really proud of what you guys are trying to achieve down there.
I really appreciate that. Thank you, Craig.
Excellent. Listen, I know you're a busy man, and thanks ever so much for taking the time to come on. We need to get people talking. We need to keep the conversation going. Listen, it's been my pleasure having you on, Alex. The chat's been great, and all the best for the new season. I will definitely be keeping an eye on League One, and hopefully you get up one of the big teams in the cup. And listen, I'll come down and I'll support you. You'll need to get me one of these tops that I can wear. But listen, all the best for the season coming.
Brilliant. Thank you, Craig.
Thanks very much. Take care, Alex.
Thank you.